pipeline. They're killing us with your pipeline. No LNG, no LNG. Granholm, you are killing me.
Okay, thanks for bearing with us here.
My name is Riley Hott. I'm 24 from West Virginia, and I'm with a group called Climate Defiance, and we just disrupted Secretary Granholm's speech. Right now she is, giving the thumbs up to the Mountain Valley Pipeline, which is a 300-mile long pipeline that would go through my home state. And we've been treated as a sacrifice zone for so long that I'm absolutely fed up and not willing to just sit by and let things like this slide. So yeah.
Yeah, and I'm Jay Waxy. I'm with Climate Defiance as well. We're motivated for the people and for the planet. Riley mentioned MVP, the other part of our chant, which was no MVP, no LNG, Granholm, you are killing me, because fossil fuels literally are killing people. The MVP pipeline, Mountain Valley Pipeline, the LNG project in Alaska that not only is massive in scale compared to Willow, compared to MVP, but is damaging pristine wilderness in Alaska, some of the most pristine wilderness that we have left. And so out of resistance to them greenlighting all these campaigns, saying they're a climate administration because Secretary of Energy is part of Biden's cabinet, we've been organizing and acting against Biden a lot because he is pretending that his campaign promise of no more drilling on federal lands is something that he can throw away as he's throwing away our planet's health and our future.
I mean, Secretary Granholm just put out last week or 2 weeks ago her support for the Mountain Valley Pipeline, and so that was really the catalyst. We're not going to sit idly by while people in his administration continue to tout the lies of big oil instead of actually fighting for all of us. And I love how most of the reports that come out against or mention who's against Mountain Valley Pipeline will say, Biden's ticked off some environmentalists, when really they should be saying that Biden is currently harming the futures of all of us, not just the environmentalists.
Exactly, and in extension to that, we've been focusing on Biden a lot. The LNG project as well, which is greenlighting Willow. These projects aren't even slated to be done anytime soon, and they're talking about a transition to a net zero utility future in 3035 for the utility grid by 2050. How is that going to happen if you're building brand new fossil fuel infrastructure guaranteed to last 30, 40 years, billions and billions of tons of greenhouse gas emissions? How can you pretend to be intellectually sound or honest by installing all these new projects? They were ready for us.
They ripped us out super quick, so I wasn't even able to gauge the crowd. I'm still settling from it. I threw up in the parking lot after they threw us out.
Yeah.
So
well, and sadly, Politico, it's hard to feel like they're allies. When they started, it was questionable. Maybe it felt like they were on the side of journalistic integrity of uplifting the public support or lack of support for expanding fossil fuels into the future. And so fossil fuel having their main sponsors for this be TC Energy, TS or TC Energy? TC Energy, Southern Company, who are really utility companies that are, with their words, trying to claim that they're going to be decarbonizing, but have their investments in so many different fossil fuel places that we couldn't help but resist Politico's problematic ties there with the way that their donors, their funding is being brought to a conversation about a healthy, clean energy, with a healthy, clean future with green energy. It's just intellectually dishonest.
Well, we had Senator Ed Markey speak right before Granholm came on, and the tone was just completely different. Yes. He voiced his opposition to Biden signing on to new fossil fuel projects, so it was kind of shocking to have such a great conversation happen with Ed Markey, and then they turn around and platform Granholm and ask her first question is, you just came out in support of the Mountain Valley Pipeline. How do you reckon with that? And her answer was not satisfying in any way, shape, or form. And they really didn't push her very hard on it either.
Exactly. With our First Amendment rights, in a panel all day, 5 hours, not a single opportunity for questions, not a single inquiry into what the people attending the summit think or what they would like to ask. So I think, having that be a priority of why we were led to act is just expanding the democracy to be broader of a realm than what they're willing to platform.
Do you intend to engage in these actions and protests in the future? Continue?
Yes.
Yeah, we aren't stopping now. Anybody in the administration who's continuing to tout big oil's lies and be complicit in this should be a little worried that we may show up at any point.
And if we do have congresspeople and policymakers, anybody who's willing to have an honest conversation about the boldness of our action that must come to have a clean future, a healthy future, environmental just future, as they're talking about environmental justice. If there are players that want to truly talk about that, we'll partner with them. We're not purely a negative source. We don't want to be having to do this, but we do.
Well, we know from history that disruption and civil disobedience has always been at the forefront of tipping points of change, and that's not just going to change now. So to the naysayers, I hope they recognize that we've put in the work, we've done the right things, we've signed petitions, we've called our senators, we've tried to get meetings. I've tried to meet with Manchin,
dozens,
so many times, and he refuses.
Me with Amy Klobuchar, me with 12 different congresspeople on the Hill. No response. Doesn't seem to. We don't have representation here in D.C. I live here in D.C., and so they are my option for representation. So I think that just to stack on to Riley's amazing point, Frederick Douglass, really big person here in the city, in Washington. Power is never going to concede a demand. Power will never concede anything without a demand. And so this is a way that we don't have many other channels to lift up our demands. And so we're getting creative with our First Amendment rights, and it feels good.